Bruises. Let's get you back now to our Johnny Depp coverage and the presence of bruises on Amber Heard, or the lack thereof. These were crucial to her claim that she was physically abused. Johnny Depp said that she faked her bruises. Amber Heard, on the other hand, testified that her real bruises were concealed with makeup so that she could work and move around in public.
But the idea is that you want to counteract whatever color you're working with on the bruise. So the first day of bruising, well, the immediate is red. Red is what shows up right away. So you want to go with the opposite on the color wheel by dabbing on a bit of the green or something to counteract the red. After a day or two, you get more purple in a bruise. So you'd obviously have to go with more of the red tones, the orange tones here. Day 2 for me was always the trickiest because day 2 just, I feel like, well, day 1 and day 2 are hardest for me because that's when you get the most blues and purples and you have to deal with the sensitivity. Bruises don't like to be touched. That's the whole point. So that's the trickiest part. But after a few days, that becomes more of that blue becomes more of a brown, yellowish browns, like a 5-7 days in, becomes more of a yellow green, and then fades into a brown and then into your skin.
Ms. Heard's makeup artist testified about covering up several injuries ahead of her appearance on James Corden's Late Late Show in December of 2015.
Ms. Iglesias, could you please describe what you did by way of makeup to prepare Amber Heard for the James Corden show on December 16, 2015?
Yes, we covered, I just did makeup, but just a little heavier weight knitted. So we covered, the discoloration or the bruises with a little slightly heavier concealer. One that has a little more of a peach undertone, which I would normally don't use on Amber, but peach do cancel blue. So I did that under the eyes, and although Amber always, has a red lip, is one of the signature look, I remember clearly talking that we had no other option that night, but then to use a red blood, like a really red lipstick to, make sure we could cover up the injuries on the lip.
And were you able to cover all of the injuries with the makeup that you applied and as you just described?
Yes.
Could Amber Heard have created hoax bruises, or could a good concealer make serious bruises disappear? Court TV professional makeup artist Michele Clark showed us what's possible.
We are here today demonstrating how Amber Heard would have been able to cover up the bruise that allegedly Johnny Depp had given her. Today we're starting with a day 1, which is a stage 1, day 1 through 3 bruise. So this is a palette that's very similar to what Amber Heard's makeup artist said that she used as a color corrector to cover up the bruising and also the scar on the lip as well. So she did say that she used orange and peachy undertones. So I'm going to show you using those same similar colors as to how she covered up this bruise today. So as you can see here, I'm using a very soft and gentle tap sort of motion because Amber Heard would have experienced some sensitivity in the face, especially around the bruising and the eye area. So I am just remaking the look that Amber Heard on the James Corden show. She had a very nice taupe eyelid, and as you can see, we are applying that very gently. And then we have now covered up most of the bruising. We are going to go back in a little bit to just give our final touches, but you can see most of it has now been concealed. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just blending and make sure that everything's blended to look very natural. You don't want to see any lines at beginning or an end to your makeup. And this helps conceal anything that you are trying to hide under makeup. Okay, and as you can see, the bruise has been covered up. And right now we're going to cover up the busted lip that she had on the James Corden show with a red lip very similar to the one that she was wearing that evening. Okay, as you can see, it is all concealed. We covered up all the bruising that was on the side of the eye and around the eye, along the cheekbone, as well as the scar that was on her lip. Both top and bottom lip has all been covered.
And that model is our Court TV director on our show right now, Shannon Hinckley, and also Michele Clark is the makeup artist. Still with us, I do have attorney Jack Rice. Jack, I have to tell you, we went into that unprepared to know what the results would be. So let's start with the bruise, because the very first of that, when you saw the bruise on Shannon's face, that was a bruise done by Michele, the makeup artist, and I found that it was very real. Johnny Depp says, oh, nope, she faked that bruise. That's what Amber Heard did. I think that that supports that that's a possibility.
I do too. In fact, I was on with you when that evidence was being introduced into court. And I remember I said at the time, look how much evidence, look how much information that Amber Heard actually has on this, how she puts makeup on, how she uses color. And when I thought of this is somebody who has the ability to create an injury as much as anything else. And I have to tell you, as a criminal defense lawyer, this happens to me regularly. There is some evidence that you have that comes to you that you have to deal with, and you say, can I fight this and how? If I get a picture, there are times when it almost feels objective. And I think what this highlights is the fact that it is not objective, because if there is a credibility question, can somebody manipulate a picture? Can somebody change the lighting? Can somebody add something to it? Can they actually add makeup to it? Or will they change the exposure in some way to make it into something that it is not? And I think that is a big part of what they did to her overall. They continue to hit at her credibility again and again and again until they denied what she said. They denied what she claimed. They even denied what she showed because they simply didn't believe the source.
They didn't believe the source, and that's what this experiment shows us as well, because as you saw, and hopefully we have a picture, once all the makeup was put on and concealing those bruises, you couldn't see the bruises. But bottom line, what does this mean? The jury did not believe Amber Heard. They didn't believe the source. Quick question for you while I have you, Jack. A lot of viewers have said, okay, why isn't Amber Heard now facing perjury charges? Because you have a civil case where the jury has said she lied. She's up on the stand telling her version of the story. They don't believe her. Perjury, as we know, when you lie under oath in a court of law. Could she face perjury charges, in your opinion, criminal defense attorney expert?
Technically, yes. The answer is likely no. Remember, the standard is different. When we're talking about criminal charges versus civil, we're talking about preponderance. In other words, 501 to 500. We're talking about proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It is the highest standard in American jurisprudence. It is not simple. It is not easy. And if she has any support from anywhere else, she undercuts that criminal case.